Okay,
Are you recording, Kendra?
Yep, now I'm
There you
recording.
are.
Okay, good morning, everybody. How are you? Today is, oh my gosh, what? June 26th. The summer is flying by. I am super excited about our call today because we have Kat, Dana, and Beth Ann who went to Summit last week and have so much information to share with us. So we're going to get started right away and yeah, and just hear what they learned, hear what they have to say, hear their thoughts on it. I also want to encourage you to check back to the team. We're going to record this and I'll upload that. And then after I do that, I'm going to come back with a special announcement for our team. And so check back on the team page today because we have some other exciting news for you apart from Summit. So I'm going to get right to it. Beth Ann, Dana, and Kat, first of all, thank you so much for going and representing Team LT. We couldn't have been more excited to follow you and to see your experience. And now we want to hear all that you learned and what we need to know as coaches, what was released. I'd also love to hear your thoughts about Summit, honestly and authentically. So we can start talking about, are we going to go next year? Are we not? We need to get hotels for next year, et cetera, et cetera. So I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all that. So take it away. I know Beth Ann, first of all, you guys, Beth Ann is celebrating her 20th anniversary and had a special trip with her husband, but she committed to this call, so she's on it. So she's going to share, and then I think she's going to get off the go. Right?
Yeah, so kind of what I'm going to do this. Hi, everybody. I'm Beth Ann, and I've been a coach for about going on maybe almost 2 years. So this was my second summit, so it was pretty exciting. So actually kind of what I was going to do, just because I don't have too much time, was just run down kind of the list of the things that Kat and I and Dana had talked about, and then the girls will probably have more information to give you on it because some of it was repetitive for me. So I know they'll be able to help all the newer coaches a little bit better. So first and foremost, they're going to have Pumpkin Shakeology, which everybody was totally excited about. And it's going to be a limited time thing. I think it's like $74. And I think if I'm not wrong, it's like 14 packets. Was that right, ladies? I think it was just a small box.
I don't remember. It launches
It was
in the
a small
fall.
box.
Yeah, it's going to launch in the fall. We had a really great speaker who, his name was Sean Aker, and he did the Happiness Advantage, which you can, I think, audio book him or purchase some books on him, and he was really great. So that would be something. And also what we talked about is we're going to also write out like the dates of things and a little more information on everything because they went so fast through a lot of the presentations. Taking pictures and writing was really difficult for us this year. So I will just say there's a couple of things. There was a
so Beth Ann, just let me. So you're gonna like type out the dates and kind of the new things, and then you'll post it in like a document on our team or like an image or something.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I will kind of like coordinate that so it's something because they flew by. So I'm sure most of this you can get in the back office. I'm sure they'll list a lot of it. That's kind of where we're going to have to pull from it. For Indy next year, it's their 20th year, so it's going to be held in Indiana, same place. Tickets that will be non-refundable and non-transferable are going to be $130. And that, unfortunately, I didn't catch the date on that. It's not very long. Is that July 9th, I think it goes through? I can't remember. But we'll get that for you guys. If Dana or Kat can jump in on that, that would be awesome. Otherwise, it's $180, and that's a transferable ticket. So if you're not able to go, you can always transfer it to somebody else. And I think it's also refundable.
Wait, we lost Dana. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Say it again. They talked about doing like IG stories because Instagram has really become like the new thing this year. I know they started it kind of the end of last year, but IG stories was really key. So if you're familiar with that, continue to work with that. Posting on IG was really good. They also were saying to pick out hashtags that interest you. So like the three of us are curly haired girls that went. So maybe curly girls might be a hashtag we might want to look up to, draw more people to our page. They also talked about using objections to create posts, which is huge. We all get a lot of objections. So you can use that and kind of put a positive spin on it, and that people can relate to you in certain ways. For July, they're also doing something called Beat Your Best. So you're going to kind of compete against yourself, see how much better you can do in July than you did in June. And I think they're doing an award system, like a medals system, a bronze, silver, and gold, if I remember that correctly. Something else that was really powerful for us was the, in one of the seminars, they did the weight loss where they have everyone stand up. So if you've lost 10 pounds, 20, and our friend Dana was up through 60 because she's lost 65 pounds. Is that right?
Yeah.
So she was up there. Woo! And then they went up, 70, 80, 90. Then they had the 100 plus, and there was about 40 people on stage that had lost over 100 pounds, which was amazing. It was truly amazing to see them all up there. Let me think. The other thing I think we talked about, and the girls could talk a little more, was the $1 Million Club. There were lots of coaches on that stage. We couldn't even count how many were in the $1 Million Club. It was truly amazing. And we'll all be there one day. They were talking about, and this is something, I think you could take it one way or the other and see which works for you. They were talking about doing 2 quality posts a day as opposed to doing 3 times a day. So there's kind of like, I think it depends on your market. So if 2 quality posts really draw people in, then that's something you should do. If doing 3 times a day gets more traction on your page, then do that. So those are just 2 little things that
I just want to jump in that I've also heard 1 quality post a day with lots on stories. So I've talked and worked with a girl who does lots on Instagram and gets asked to collaborate with a lot of companies. And a lot of social media people are saying 1 really good post a day with lots of stories. So that's interesting. But like you said, Beth Ann, you got to figure out what works for you and your audience.
Right.
But you want to be having engagement, not just posting, but engagement.
Right. And then they always do the call to action or put like a little question at the end, leave it hanging so that they're like, oh, I need to know more about what she's talking about. Again, they talked about the curiosity marketing. So, don't be, hi, this is my mascara I'm using that I have not put on yet, ladies, but this is my mascara. They don't want you to do that. Maybe show it from the back and they're like, ooh, what is she using? Oh, look, her eyelashes look great. So not to do the Shakeology or talk about Energize, maybe put it in a different container or turn it around and they're like, hey, what's that yellow stuff she drinks every morning when she's working out? She looks pretty good doing that. It looks like it's helping her. So those are a few little curiosity marketings. And then when Melanie spoke, we got to see Melanie. We went up, we missed the picture just by a millisecond, but I saw her, actually Dana saw her up there and we're like, let's just go up and just tell her that we're representing Team LT. So she was so sweet. She agreed to take a photo with us. So nice. What a wonderful night for her. But she had said to always be a student. So when she finds that things are kind of not moving her business, she'll take a look and see what other people are doing and see what's going on out there. And then she'll learn from that. She'll either get personal development books or, see what might work, what other coaches might be doing, what's working. So that's kind of what I took from it. And I'm sure the girls, and there's probably a few other things that I can post in the group about that, but I'm sure Dina and Kat, they took lots of it. So I was proud of them for that. But we had a nice time. Again, it's a great way to meet the other coaches. This was the first time I got to meet Kat and Dana in person. I don't know when we would ever get together because we live for like the Bermuda Triangle almost. But it was wonderful. We had a fantastic time seeing one another and talking about Coach Summit together and life and what works and that was pretty much it. So anyway, I don't know who wants to pick up from there. Dana, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can go.
Okay.
So I'm Dana. I've been a coach for about a year and a half now. And this was my first summit. So I really just started coaching last year when Summit came around. I've been at it for a few months. And so it was exciting to be able to go. And it's definitely an investment. I mean, you're making an investment in your business by attending Summit. And I think for me, that was something that was reaffirmed time and time again. How are we actively investing in our business? And so that can mean financially, how are we investing in our business? That means time. What sort of time are we investing in our business? And how are those things impacting our overall growth? And so to hear the different speakers and to hear the different sessions, I think was really powerful to have that affirmed. And so one of the biggest things I feel like I've experienced in my coaching and as I work with new coaches that I'm working with is the sense of fear that we have around sharing. And I think the way in which that fear can hold us back. And the theme of the whole conference was believe in you, like believe in you, believe in yourself, and believe in the people that you're working with, whether they're downline coaches, other coaches, or your clients, but all centered around this idea of belief. And we hold such a strong sense of belief for the success of our clients and challengers. How can we hold that same sort of belief for us? And I believe that it's identifying our strengths. And so I would encourage each of you to be thinking about the strengths that you have, what makes you unique, and make a list of those and to consider your life phase. What phase of life are you in? Who are the people that you're really wanting to speak to? And make lists about that. What are things that people in your life phase are thinking about, wondering about? What have you overcome? And when I think about my own story, and when I think about the fear that held me back as a challenger, it was the belief of Amethyst and other people in the group that helped me move through that. And then now as a coach, like how can I look at what I've overcome, what my story is, and how that can speak to others and encourage them. And so I would just encourage you to write out your story, write out main points of your story and who your story may be connecting with, and center the posts that you create around those people. So it's funny, the word that they kept using at Summit was avatar, like who is your ideal person that's out there? And you can even put a face to that. If it's a friend that you have, if it's a challenger you have, but center all your live videos, all your Instagram stories, all your posts, like you're speaking to that person. And making sure that we keep that personal connection in there. And so that, I think, was just a really powerful reminder for me. And in that, like, I'm a mom of young kids. I don't have kids in school all day. And especially now with summer, like I'm here at home. And so thinking about like the phase I'm in, I know a lot of other moms can relate to me. But when I think about building those connections and wanting to encourage all those moms who are out there, the idea of investing time really popped out to me. And there was a whole session that was done on managing business on a part-time basis. So these were two moms who were up front, they're home with their kids. About it a lot within our team, and Melanie has talked about it a lot with the idea of establishing business hours. And that just spoke to me. And that is my growth area. My growth area is establishing a schedule and business hours. My fault that like makes me stressed out during the day is I feel like I am always attached to my phone. And when someone messages that I have to immediately respond because I don't want to lose them. And looking at these moms, they like actually showed us their schedules, and it showed the pockets of time where they do work. And then this one mom in particular, like she had these huge chunks of time that were dedicated to being unplugged. And I think for me, like that gave me a sense of hope that by establishing focus and time in my business hours, I can truly have that unplugged time and not feel like I have to be attached to my phone. So that was a really big takeaway for me.
Dana, can I speak to that too?
Yeah.
I was also totally inspired by that. And Melanie Mitro opened her keynote presentation by talking about how when she started the business, she was a wrecking ball in her family. And she just totally put the business before her family. She would, be at dinner with her phone, and if a text came in regarding the business, she would jump up and leave. It was really cool how vulnerably she shared. And her husband ended up giving her an ultimatum. And he said, look, it's either you choose the family or you choose the business, but this is not working. And she had a wake-up call and was like, wow, no, that's not a good option. I have to find a way to make this work. And she set out to make her family a priority and her business a priority, and to be able to be balanced together. And that's exactly what she did. And even if you see her post now on Instagram, you see her doing that, like full on setting aside her phone for the time that is scheduled to be her family time. And even, she plugs in the phone, and that's a sign. Now I'm unplugged from my phone. The phone is plugged into the wall, and I am spending family time. So the whole idea of business hours, I thought, was just brilliant. And I even reached out to a couple of homeschool moms on the Dream Team, because while those schedules were really helpful for the general population, I was like, I need to figure out how to make this work for me. And I just love being a part of such a big team, because there are other homeschool moms who are doing it and crushing it and making it work. So I'm personally super excited to talk to those people. And I'm really grateful that we have such a big network where we can pull from people who are like us. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in.
So you guys, let me throw this out there. Would it be helpful that just as we hold each other accountable with our invites and our workouts and our nutrition and our meal planning, would it be helpful to begin posting like our work schedules or just like, I don't know, because I think that I know Erin and Amethyst and I have talked about this for years, that we all try to set up those hours, but it's the following through with that and the being accountable that is the kind of, as always with everything, is kind of what changes the game. Because we can have the best intentions, but the accountability helps so much. I don't know.
I think that's a great idea.
Like every Sunday we post our schedule for the week, and then it forces us to create that schedule, but two, there's accountability that if you see me, even though it was not my working time, and all of a sudden I'm posting and working, you're going to be like, not that you're going to go through and be paying attention to that, but
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, maybe that just adds more stress than necessary, but just something for us to think about, because I do find for most of us, because we're passionate about what we do, this is like one of the number one struggles. Yeah. And my kids have said the same thing. My teenagers, my husband, like, my gosh, you're always on that phone working. Yeah. And it's cute for a little while to be like, well, my job is never done and I'm working hard for the family. And after a while, everyone's just over it.
Yeah.
Me included. I just want to huck my phone right out the window.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Go ahead.
I think it would really serve our families. I think, we could all look at that idea as stressful or as helpful. But one of the things Melanie was talking about is obstacles are in our way in order to grow us. And so if we're recognizing that this is an obstacle, and if we have seen the history that when we put ourselves in a position of accountability and that brings results, I think the worst thing that could happen is we try it and it flops. And the best thing that could happen from it is we try it and our families are thanking us for being present, and they know when they can expect us and when they can't. So I think that's a great idea. And it will probably take some tweaking and refining to figure out what is that schedule that works for us. And the beauty is we do have a flexible job that the hours can change. But, I think it's worth it either as a group, or each person could just kind of take one accountability partner or two accountability partners.
Maybe that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's something I think that's great.
Because I need that accountability too. I mean, one of the, whatever, just throughout the course of this, and especially these last 5 weeks, being forced to be off social media, except for a couple of things where my girls will help me post, I feel so out of it, but I'm slowly surrendering it to God. For me, that's what I do. And it's, I was at a place where I wanted to chuck my phone right out the window and was feeling just confused, because I love what I do, but I feel like it takes over my life and I'm not really present with my own family. So I really think this is such a great thing that you guys are bringing up. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Really powerful.
It was
You're not
super
alone
powerful.
in that feeling, Kendra.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
You
love
are not alone.
you. Oh.
So that, as we were sharing, that things that I have that I wanted to share. There was a coach that got up who's like blah blah blah, however many diamonds and elite and all these different types of things. And when she stood up there, she said, "What has really revolutionized my business this year is getting back to the basics." And I know that we hear Carl say it. I know that we hear Melanie say it. But really going back to the 4 vital behaviors of inviting and, oh gosh, I can't even think of them. Be a product of the product, inviting, recognizing, and
Personal development.
yes, personal development. And even the personal development one, like recognizing how huge that is, that we need to be working on ourselves in order to be encouraging others. And so that was awesome. And then Beth Ann mentioned it, but check out the Happiness Project and the other book on potential that Sean Aker put out, because it was just amazing. It was truly incredible. And then final thing for me is I got to get my booty on Instagram and figure out how to like work Insta stories and like all these other sorts of things, because every coach who got up there said, this is what is growing my business. And so that is an investment of time and training that I need to make that happen. So overall, loved Summit. I was so glad to be there. It was amazing to see all these other people who have the same passion that I have, and to hear from them all. So it was such a great experience. All right, Kat, you're up.
Because we have less.
Hello.
Yes.
So I'm Kat Negretti. This is my first Zoom call, and I've only been coaching as an active working coach since February, and it's June now, so whatever, few months, 5 months or so. I was blown away at Summit. So repeating just some of what the girls said, there's just so much power in being around 15,000 other people who are doing this, feel the same calling. There's just such a feeling of solidarity as you're working out with them before the sun is up, outside in the rain, and everyone is pumped up. Just so much energy being there. And you see these people up on a stage, or you don't see them because you're so far away, and you see them on the big screen, but you're live, and it's just like, wow, I'm really a part of something really big. The workouts with the trainers was a huge, awesome takeaway for me. And then, like they said, seeing person after person after person who had lost even over 200 pounds just share their story was like, oh my gosh. And the before and after contest winners at the very end celebration, they shared 8 different stories that I shared on my Facebook page of people who had lost an immense amount of weight and are just crying because of how their lives have been changed. I felt like I was at the Biggest Loser finale and it was amazing. And then just seeing people who have really taken this thing by the bull by the horns and have made this business legit and are making a grip of money, and just person after, it's not like the top 1%, the elite are, like the stage was full of people who have made over $1 million in this business. And it kind of, my mind just like sort of blew up. And I mean, I don't even know how all the rankings work, but I know that these people, they announced one coach who had personally signed over 1,000 coaches last year. It's like, what? How does that even happen? We were looking like, is that right? But, there's coaches that are signing up hundreds of coaches a year. So just kind of seeing how big everything is and the possibilities and how it's very real. Like, why not me? So overall, I think that was just some of the big takeaways. Oh, I have so many different notes on things that I can share, including my own personal takeaway actions. But I think one of the things that they talked about is, as you're sharing, as you're inviting, to speak to people's pain points is really helpful. Even something like, is your closet a mess or is a place of anxiety? And then the whole feel, felt, what is the last one? Oh gosh. Feel, felt, found.
Oh yes.
And so when someone had feel, felt, found. So like when somebody has a objection or a frustration or a fear, you do the feel, like, oh girl, I feel you, I was there too, or I'm still there now. And then felt, feel is like, I can totally hear you, I relate. And then the felt is, you know, let me share you how I can understand that. And then what I've found is blah, 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 how I overcame that objective, or how, being in a challenge group is helping me now with that. So just, it kind of put a whole different spin on people who are, I'm not sure about this. I don't have the time. It's too expensive. Number one, using objections, like instead of viewing them as, man, this is really depressing. People, don't know what they're missing out on, or, nobody cares, to basically be like, yes, I have something new to post about, and to even write down a list of people's objections, and then just think like, okay, so how have I used that and turned it into something great? So for example, like, oh, I don't have money for this, it's too expensive. And then, yeah, I feel that. That's why I didn't join at first too. But, what I found is that I was spending so much money at the drive-through because I was so tired and so, lack of energy. And as I've been fueling my body, now I have energy. I don't need to go to the drive-through. I'm actually saving money. That's just one example of the whole feel, felt, found, and dealing with objections. Even creating a post, this one lady from the South, she's like, I'm surrounded by people who love deep fried everything. And so that's my biggest challenge, is people saying, I don't want to be on a diet. I don't want to be on a diet. And so she posts a picture of her with like a cupcake. And her post is, I love that I can have abs and dessert and that I'm never on a diet. And so right from her post, she's addressing an objection and creating curiosity. So you can do that with any objection. You can like schedule your posts based around objections, including people who already have a fitness routine, cost, all the typical objections. And that usually when people have an objection, it comes from a place of not knowing all the facts and then fear. So if you can address those two things, even like in a sneak peek video, before they come out with a comment like, well, I couldn't do this, then you realize you're speaking to their objections and helping them wrap their minds around how great this could be. Just more on Instagram. I really liked how they were saying when you're on somebody's Instagram and you click on somebody's Instagram page, that's basically a magazine. Okay, so you need to make sure that your content and your filter is cohesive. So for example, if your Instagram page says that you're a homeschooling mom like myself who encourages others in their fitness routine, but you go to my page and I have like random political posts or things that have nothing to do with that, people are kind of confused. You have like 5 seconds for somebody to start following you. So you want, even just choose one filter, Clarendon, so that it's visually appealing as someone does the scroll. And I know Melanie Mitchell has talked in the past about like every 9 posts or so show something about your transformation, like your before or after. And then just make the content about what you're about fitness, about nutrition, and about whatever, not just fitness and nutrition, but whatever makes you you. So there's one coach who, she has a cute little blonde bob. So she's always hashtagging blonde bobs. And then she'll search Instagram for hashtag blonde bobs. She'll start following people that look like go-getters, that people that she wants on her team. And she'll do a few comments, a few likes. And then once she starts seeing them start commenting and liking on her thing, then she'll kind of like reach out and start the conversation. So just following hashtags that are about you, like autism mom, curly hair, big mascara, whatever, things that have nothing to do with health and fitness, but that make you you, that's your people. And always using the same hashtags that, not the same, but using all your hashtags that you can I've seen that personally even gets you a bigger following. Switching your Instagram to business, I did that at Summit, and already I'm starting to see, oh yeah, this is more helpful. The other,
Check that.
What's that?
I'll look that up, how to check. I think mine's business, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, you have less than a minute, just so you know.
Oh, so many things to talk about. Basically, how to be a boss means you need to be serious about creating a calendar of what you're going to post and what you're going to work on as far as your activities when you're working. And then find a way to track who you're following up with and who you're reaching out to.